I wish that all the rituals would go so fast as the last two. I only have one left now, the wind ritual, and I pray that it will be over with quickly too. I'd like some answers as to why Captain Carius was taken away from Fort Frostmoth by wolf-like creatures. But even if the Skull welcomed me with open arms and were fully honest with me from the start, I don't quite think that they know what is happening either. But they should. They live here, and the people of the land like this always know their history with it. I'm sure they have tales of werewolves or whatever that comes out from their holes here on Solstheim to occasionally terrorize the people. Perhaps the people of Skull Village are responsible for the werewolf attack? Maybe their shaman called them to get rid of the Imperials of the fort? It wouldn't surprise me, but then if they did do that, then why allow me to perform these rituals for them? Why not just summon more werewolves to attack me? How does one summon a werewolf anyway? I'm not sure I will get the answers I seek from these Nords, and maybe I'm completely wasting my time doing these rituals. However, this is all I have to go on, so I will complete them, and then return to Skull Village. If they still have nothing that can help me, then I know to move on. Oh, it's nice waking up in a warmish place compared to outside. Well, I don't really want to go read a book outside, so I'll just sit on this bench. This book I've been meaning to read for a while. Is it the Warrior's Charge? Or is this a poem? Oh. The Warrior's Charge, an old poem of the Redguards. And the stars sung far-flung tales wreathed in the silver of Yukuda fair, of a warrior who, arrayed in hues sails, his charges through the serpent's snare. And the Lord of Runes, so bored so soon, leaves the ship for an evening's dare, perchance to wake the coiled snake, to take its shirt of scales to wear. And the Lady East, who, ere the beast, asleep or a prowl, can rouse a scare, screams as her eye, a light in the sky, a worm no goodly sight can bear. And the mailed steed joins the deed, not to be undone from his worthy share, rides the knight towards the scale bright, leaving the seasoned warrior's care. Then the serpent rose, and made stead to close. The targets lay plain and there, but the warrior's blade, the snake unmade, and the chargers wandered no more, they swear. That's not exactly the book I thought it would be. The Warrior's Charge. Well, this book that... What was it? The Mirror. Yeah, I have The Mirror. I'll read that another day. Let's get rid of some of this weight that I have. I don't need all these books anymore.
Care for some light reading?
It's a little odd that you sell books to what I assume most people that can't read here, so... It is a little odd. So let's get rid of some of these. Warrior's Charge. Get rid of that. I'll sell these Dwemer airship plans. Oh, you don't buy that. It's paper. You don't buy that? For $2.50. Thanks. I never quite understood poetry that... I guess a lot of poetry you have to know what it is that they're talking about. I don't know much about ancient Yokuda or Redguard. I just know that they're good warriors.
Come, friend. I make the best armor on all of Solstheim.
You can buy this sword, please. No, weighing me down. Let's go find that last stone. It should be just west. Yeah. Just west of Skull Village. This is not the type of day I wanted to wake up to. Am I going towards the ocean on the eastern side. I hope I run into a snow bear or two. Or a wolf, even. Yeah, that's the ocean right there. There was a house that I saw that... It's just down from Skull Village. May have been on the other side of the river. Oh, that bear's still there. Well, I won't hurt that bear. I know it's a snow bear. I'm not going to kill it, though. Not this one. The stone is still glowing. Oh, now it's peaceful, but cold. Magnus is not out. You doing okay, bear? Skull Village should be right here. There it is. Ooh, it's picking up again. How am I gonna see in this? Yeah, it's cold. Oh. Maybe I'll stay inside for a few hours and hope this storm abates. This is too much. It's really cold. Isn't this the man I helped with his son?
Ah, you bring good fortune with you. Welcome.
This is nice. I think I'll stay here for a few hours. I'm sure he won't mind. Well, I'm much warmer. Much better. Weather 9. Hanan's Wake. An instructive account on the manufacture of a poison that enabled mass sacrifices by Daedra worshippers. I think I read that, didn't I? Parchment with scrawlings. There's 6 house. I thought I saw the last of this. Daedra Heart. Are you like an alchemist or maybe a necromancer? Maybe those are the books his son was reading. Maybe he doesn't even read. His song. For someone that doesn't read, there's books all over the place. Oh, no. Oh, come on. I think I'm just going to go to the Great Hall and wait this out. I won't be able to see anything out there anyways. The Nord here don't quite trust me. I'm working on their trust, building it up. Okay, well, let's read the mirror because I can't do anything outside. Well, I can if I want to suffer and maybe die. The Mirror by Berdier Reens. I guess that's a Breton name? Berdier Reens. The wind blew over the open plain, jostling the few trees within to move back and forth with the irritation of it. A young man in bright green turban approached the army and gave his chieftain's terms for peace to the commander. He was refused. It was to be battle, the Battle of Ain Kolur. So the chief, Aimbez, had decreed his open defiance, and his horsemen were at war once again. Many times the tribe had moved into territory that was not theirs to occupy, and many times the diplomatic approach had failed. It had come to this at long last. It was just as well with Mindothrax. His allies may win or lose, but he would always survive. Though he had occasionally been on the losing side of a war, never once in all his 34 years had he lost in hand-to-hand combat. The two armies poured like dual frothing streams through the dust, and when they met, a clamor rang out, echoing into the hills. Blood, the first liquor the clay had tasted in many a month, danced like powder. The high and low battle cries of the rival tribes met in harmony as the armies dug into one another's flesh. Mindothrax was in the element he loved. After 10 hours of fighting with no ground given, both commanders called a mutual and honorable withdrawal from the field. The camp was positioned in a high-walled garden of an old burial ground, adorned by springtide blossoms. As Mindothrax toured the grounds, he was reminded of his childhood home. It was a happy and a sad recollection. The purity of childhood ambition, all his schooling in the ways of battle, but tinged with memories of his poor mother, a beautiful woman looking down at her son with both pride and unspoken sorrow. She never talked about what troubled her, but it came as no surprise to any when she took the walk across the moors and was found days later, her throat slit open by her own hand. The army itself was like a colony of ants, newly shaken. Within a half-hour's time after the end of the battle, they had reorganized as if by instinct. As the medicos looked to the wounded, someone remarked with a measure of admiration and astonishment, "Look at Mindothrax. His hair isn't even out of place." "He is a mighty swordsman," said the attendant physician. "The sword is a greatly overvalued article," said Mindothrax. Nevertheless, pleased with the attention, warriors pay too much attention to striking and not enough to defending strikes. The proper way to go into battle is to defend yourself and to hit your opponent only when the ideal moment arises. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I tend to try to make my own. But I haven't really come across too many enemies that I really feel like I'm being challenged when it comes to swords and shield. "I prefer a more straightforward approach," smiled one of the wounded. "It is the way of the horsemen." "If it is the way of the Buell-Say tribes to fail, then I renounce my heritage," says Mindothrax, making a quick sign to the spirits that he was being expressive, not blasphemous. "Remember what the great blade master Gaiden Shinji said. The best techniques are passed on by the survivors. I have been in 36 battles, and I haven't a scar to show for them. That is because I rely on my shield, and then my blade, in that order." "What is your secret?" "Think of melee as a mirror. I look to my opponent's left arm when I am striking with my right. If he is prepared to block my blow, I blow not. Why exert undue force?" Mindothrax cocked an eyebrow, but when I see his right arm tense, my left arm goes to my shield. You see, it takes twice as much power to send force than it does to deflect it. When your eye can recognize whether your opponent is striking from above, or at an angle, or in an uppercut from below, you learn to pivot and place your shield just so to protect yourself. I could block for hours if need be, but it only even takes a few minutes, or even seconds for your opponent, used to battering, to leave a space open for your own strike. "What was the longest you've ever had to defend yourself?" asked the wounded man. "I fought a man once for an hour's time," said Mindothrax. "He was tireless with his bludgeoning, never giving me a moment to do aught but block his strikes. But finally, he took a moment too long in raising his cudgel, and I found my mark in his chest. He struck my shield 1,000 times, and I struck his heart but once. But that was enough." "So he was your greatest opponent?" asked the medico. "Oh, indeed not," said Mindothrax, turning his great shield so the silvery metal reflected his own face. "There he is." The next day, the battle recommenced. Chief Ayumbez had brought in reinforcements from the islands to the south. To the horror and disgrace of the tribe, mercenaries, renegade horsemen, and even some Reachman witches were included in the war. As Mindothrax stared across the field at the armies assembling, putting on his helmet and readying his shield and blade, he thought again of his poor mother. What had tortured her so? Why had she never been able to look at her son without grief? Between sunrise and sundown, the battle raged. A bright blue sky overhead burned down on the combatants as they rushed against one another over and over again. In every melee, Mindothrax prevailed. A foe with an axe rained a series of strokes against his shield, but everyone was deflected until, at last, Mindothrax could best the warrior. A spear maiden nearly pierced the shield with her first strike, but Mindothrax knew how to give with the blow, throwing her off balance and leaving her open for his counter-strike. Finally, he met a mercenary on the field, armed with a shield and sword and a helm of golden bronze. For an hour and a half they battled. Mindothrax tried every trick he knew. When the mercenary tensed his left arm, he held back his strike. When his opponent rose his sword, his shield rose too and expertly blocked. For the first time in his life, he was battling another defensive fighter. Stationary, reflective, with energy to battle for days if need be. Occasionally, another warrior would enter the fray, sometimes from Mindothrax's army, sometimes from his opponent's. These distractions were swiftly dispatched, and the champions returned to their fight. As they fought, circling one another, matching block for blow and blow for block, it dawned on Mindothrax that here at last he was fighting the perfect mirror. It became more a game, almost a dance than a battle of blood. It was not until Mindothrax missed his own step, striking too soon, throwing himself off balance, that the promenade was ended. He saw, rather than felt, the mercenary's blade rip across him from throat to chest. A good strike, the sort he himself might have delivered. Mintothrax fell to the ground, feeling his life passing. The mercenary stood over him, prepared to give his worthy adversary the killing blow. It was a strange, honorable deed for an outsider to do, and Mintothrax was greatly moved. Across the battlefield, he heard someone call a name similar to his own. Jurifax! The mercenary removed his helmet to answer the call. As he did so, Mintothrax saw through the slits of his helmet his own reflection in the man. It was his own close-set eyes, red and brown hair, thin and wide mouth and blunt chin. For a moment, he marveled at the mirror, before the stranger turned back to him and delivered the death stroke. Jurifax returned to his commander and was well paid for his part in the day's victory. They retired for a hot meal under the stars in a garden by an old cairn that had previously been occupied by their foes. The mercenary was strangely quiet as he observed the land. "Have you been here before, Jurifax?" asked one of the tribesmen who had hired him. "I was born a horseman, just like you. My mother sold me when I was just a babe. I have always wondered how my life might have been different had I not been bartered away. I might never have been a mercenary." "There are many things that decide our fate," said the witch. "It is madness to try to see how you might have taken this turn or that in the world. There are none exactly like yourself, so it is foolish to compare." "But there is one," said Jurifax, looking to the stars. "My master, before he set me free, said that my mother had twin sons when I was born. She could only afford to raise but one child, but somewhere out there is a man just like me. My brother. I hope to meet him." The witch saw the spirits before her and knew the truth that the twins had met already. She remained silent and stared into the fire, banishing the thoughts from her head, too wise to tell all. Interesting story. Actually, there's a lot of truth in that, how to use your shield. Okay, well, let's wait a few more hours. Oh, I actually fell asleep a little bit there. Okay, this storm better be gone. Well, I don't know what to say. It's not as cold as it was because the midday sun is now... midday Magnus is now warming it up. But I can't see. I don't know what it is I'm to do. West. Let's just find this stone. Maybe this will be an easy one. Problem is I can't see too far. It's like the gods are saying no. Kinnereth is blowing her wind, so I can't see anything. Yeah, I really can't see anything. Scrolls might blow out of my hand. Let's see. The Windstone is right to the west of where the river splits. So... oh. It's so white I didn't even know where I'm going. Let's just go down to the river and go west where it splits. My hands are getting a little numb. Not good. I don't even want to try to draw back my bow. Oh wow. What is with these stupid Nord? Nord's doing this. She's pretty. And I'm not really into Nords at all. She's pretty. Okay, here's the river. Yeah. Water walk. Follow it south. It should be on the west side. Just leave me. Okay, I can't draw my boat too well. My fingers are a little numb with cold. Okay, so here's the river. River that goes. Oh, it's already branched off. Just make my way back. So this is where it splits. What? Oh, great. My bottom half is wet now. Okay, it splits that way. Oh. Nope, there it is. Travel south and east of the Lake of Ice to Glenshall's tomb and free the winds from the greedy man's bag. A tomb, huh? It sounds a lot warmer than being out here. It said south and east? South and east of the Lake of Ice. So that's... It can only be Lake Fjelding, because it's the only lake here. South and east. I don't want a repeat of the other day. Follow... No, it's over here. Lake Fjelding is this way. Fingers are... My hands are numb. Oh, it's clearing up. Thank the gods. Fingers still aren't good. But I have to defend myself, so... That's much better. I can feel Magnus. Magnus is warming me up slightly. The lake. The birds are out again. That's nice. It's actually to the east. There it is. Why are snow bears so rare? Can't I just use Horker pelts? Hey, south and east of the lake. My map is showing... I mean, basically I'm right by Thirsk. There's a barrel on the hill over on the other side. Oh, it's picking up again. Oh, Kenrith, stop it! I gotta get in that barrel. This could be it. This is the hill. Yeah. My feet are numb too, and that's not a good sign. They penetrated this armor in several different places. Oh, why the 9? This is not what I wanted to see. Ah! Why are there so many of you things here on this island? At least I'm getting my shield practice and my armor. Learning how to deflect it with both. This armor is falling apart. I have to repair it. warm my body up with all this combat and repairing of my armor. I don't feel as bad anymore. And it's stopped again. Okay, so there's a barrel. Oh, this could be it. It's starting again. With a 9. Whoa, whoa. Okay. It smells, but not as bad as you would think it would smell. I don't know if this is the place. Glenshaw's Tomb. And free the winds from the greedy man's bag. Well, if they have a name for these places, they don't post it on the outside. Die, Draugr. Die again. Look how many of them are here. At least this is warming me up. Oh, you stink. I think it's these wolves. Wherever they are. Rotten. I can't stay right here. It smells. There's another one. Ugh. Whoa! That's like the biggest bag I've ever seen. This must be it. I think I let the wind loose, but you know what? The wind was already pretty loose outside, so if this has made it worse, I will not be happy. Okay, so, where did you come from? Stinky, smelly thing. Thought I got you all. I didn't make it worse. Okay, so I kind of know where it is. Let's head back to where the windstone is. And there it is. Seems the wind is picking up again. Let's hurry and get this over with. Ooh. It's windy enough today. I've completed the Gift of Wind's ritual. I have completed all the 6 rituals necessary and should return to Heartfang. Heartfang is... I forget. Is he not the shaman or is he the chief of Skull Village? Stupid berserker. That's it, huh? I noticed to the south of me. Oh, it's right here. There's a house here. I wonder who lives here.